Hello everyone, my name is Katherine González and my partner's name is Jonathan Uzhca. We are students of Systems Engineering in Politécnica Salesiana University, and we have made a tutorial to explain our project to formal language subject. Our project is to develop a software in Ubuntu, an open source system operative using NetBeans 8.2. Its software helps to blind people to listen what information a web page have through a text-to-speech tool like Festival. First, I'll show you how to install each software. Ubuntu. The first step that we have to do is that we have to go to the download page. Like in the picture, in the second step, we must download Ubuntu 14.0.4 ISO image. We must choose 32 bits or 64 bits depending of our computer version. After, we must install the ISO image in our virtual machine. In this case, we choose Oracle VirtualBox machine. Then, after of the installation, we must turn on our new virtual machine Ubuntu like in the picture. The next software that we use is NetBeans. First, we must download NetBeans for our machine. In this case, we need the NetBeans 8.2, but in the version .tar.gz, because is the version that Ubuntu use for develop the software. The second step is that we must click on the console and execute the following commands. We use these commands to know the version, if the Java Oracle that we have in our computer is correct. After we update all the tools in our machine, the next step is install the Oracle Java 7 installer that we have to download before, and the next steps are the next configurations. Here in the right, we must see the final window that we get of NetBeans. The next part, the last part that we use is Festival. Festival is a software that we use like a text-to-speech tool. We need to use two special commands, sudo apt get update and sudo apt get install Festival. Sudo refers that we have to be like super user or root. The design of the software. For the design of the software, do the following things. First, we use a JFrame, that is the principal window. We use a JPanel. Then we have two text areas. The first one is where we're going to write the URL to get, and the second one is where we're going to show the results after to get the all source code of the HTML or page web that we were searching. Other important part of the design of the software is that we use 6 buttons. The first one is to get the HTML source code, this one. The second one is to save the file gotten. The next one is to apply the regular expressions and delete the etiquettes in HTML language. The next one is to generate a PDF file with all results from website. It means content, etiquette, and statistics graphics. The other button is read. It functions like read web page through Festival tool. And the last button is to exit from the software. Regular expressions. In theoretical computer science and formal language theory is a sequence of characters that define a search pattern. Usually this pattern is then used by a string searching algorithms for find or find and replace operations or strings, or for input validations. Here we have some examples of regular expressions. For example, the first one is a regular expressions that help us to delete all the etiquettes from the file that we have created. Here we find these specific two symbols and try to eliminate everything that be inside of them. The next regular expressions are to replace etiquettes like H1, title, P, that means paragraph, and other type of H1. The source code. Here my partner is going to explain you the source code.
Get HTML source from URL in Java application. We must consider that the get HTML source through URL we must have on the internet connection. First, we create a method in which import java.io package H will be null, input string reader, string buffering. We call to the package again to get URL from internet. The next one or allow to reader what input string found. We create a loop where we declare a string variable to save like by the count of the buffer reader, and if it's different for null, will print the result. We must close buffer reader and input a string. Finally, we must return the string variable buffer. Delete HTML for web part. It is method we are going to eliminate all HTML etiquette. We must create a method in the case process or eliminar. In this method we copy that patent, save or first regular expression. which will fill in its and its symbols of the etiquette or will replace the which bar space and then you and the we say you result and that same file. Finally, we close the reader. In this part, the result itself in the new string variable cadena or close the reader. Finality, we open and update the file guardar.txt save in the variable cadena create the foreign method processar T to replace etiquette for string. We must create a method. The contents of this method is very similar to delete HTML etiquette, but in the pack of new contents we replace for other words, in the case título, párrafo, and others. We must have the forward library .txt.5.0.5.jar. We must create a method in this case PDF. We call the find where we are going to say which correct route. You are going to the instance library property like document, PDF, written paragraph, where we can add all the information you want. In this part you can change for color and the same other part in the create and the table where we can add information in other way. Finally, we add all the document to the file and save this.
In this part, we can see the results of our development. In the first part, we can see the PDF file created. We can see our names, the name of our subject, formal languages, our teacher, Engineer Vladimir Robles, our objectives. In the next part, we see a table with many etiquettes that usually are in an HTML page. In the next part, we see regular expressions that we use in our project. In the next part are the etiquettes of our file, and we're going to show it in this moment. In the next picture, we can see the etiquettes that our software found in a page. In there are title, div, h5, head, table, h group, article, and other types of etiquettes, and how much etiquettes have been in our document, in our HTML source code. In the center of the presentation, we have a picture about our software, where we have in the first text area the URL of our website. After of that, we push get in the first button. Then we get all the source code in HTML and all the information of that page in there. After we put save file, we put the regular expression. We do the next button, read, and generate PDF. Then we have these results. Difficulties. Well, in our project, while we were doing our project, we found many difficulties. There are to develop correct and show regular expressions to get good results. When we start our project, we found big expressions that could help but aren't perfect for what we was needed. The next one is to create, open, update, and save files more than one time. It means that the code that the developing of our source code in Java NetBeans is so long. So we have to be very, very careful while we were doing it. The next one, and I think is that the most difficult, is to eliminate the etiquette, because web pages sometimes are structured and others aren't structured. For that, for example, sometimes we found a solution and we said, okay, we got it. But there was one or two etiquettes that had incorrect structures that were not eliminating all the things that we was needing. In conclusion, our project was very interesting for us. Why? Because it allows us to use all our knowledge learned from classes and from our teacher. And after allow us investigate a lot too. Like that, to develop a software that help people who really need our help, because blind people is in a world very difficult, and we have the opportunity to help us, and this is very important to develop this class of software, of applications, of other things, and like that we can use our careers to be and to do good for everybody. Thank you. That's all.